Nikolai sent us pictures of the moon in the Telegram chat of the New Reality channel, as always. He took 4 pictures. This one and this picture have a short time interval between them, while this one and this one are about 2 hours apart. So, let's take a look like this. The time is 17:05 and then it moved a lot. The time is 19:20, about 2 hours later, and during this time the moon rotated about 30 degrees. Now let's go to Elisa and she will calculate the centrifugal force for us. I wrote, what's the centrifugal force on the moon's surface if it rotates 20-30 degrees in 2 hours? Just over 2 hours. It doesn't matter. You can measure all this with a ruler or protractor. I'm just showing how you can calculate all of this in literally a minute and a half. She explains how to calculate centrifugal and centripetal forces on the moon's surface from its rotation. Let's break the problem down step by step. She analyzes the rotation angle, plugs it into the formula, calculates and substitutes the values. So how would a school student or a university student approach this when given such an assignment? So the centrifugal force at the equator will be this much per meter per second, meaning at the equator the weight of the body will decrease by this amount. At the poles the effect is absent. Well, obviously there is no centrifugal force at the poles, so it immediately draws that conclusion for you. Rapid rotation would severely deform and likely destroy the moon, as centrifugal force nearly matches gravity. Then I decided that this would be a real bombshell and I needed to make a video. I composed a major critique of fundamental physics, astronomy and space agencies, accusing them of not being able to fly to such a moon, and set about carrying out my plan. And since there were already quite a few such incidents of the moon's rotation captured on camera, I decided to do similar calculations for other cases as well. I enter the data, and Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer will do a detailed calculation. Suddenly, it gives me a value 2,500 times less than the moon's gravitational force, making it completely incomparable. And it tells me that with such a rotation of the moon, gravity will decrease by only 1.18, which is completely insignificant. Then I started plugging in data from other cases, and the result was the same. Then I went back to the first chat and repeated the first recalculation and got about the same values, which were about 2,500 times less than that first calculation. I asked Elisa why the same calculation differs by such huge amounts. Well, by asking leading questions, I made the chat find the reason. The first time, Elisa simply made a mistake and took 2 calculated hours as 24. That's why there was such a big difference. How the neural network could have turned the number 2 into 24 I checked. It was 2 that was entered. As they say, the ways of electric current in semiconductor microchips are mysterious. Then I suspected Elisa of tampering with the data. She appeared to recognize the official world order and accurately reassess it, right? I switched to another chat, the G5 iBot chat, and gave the same task, but immediately recalculated how many degrees are in 24 hours, so that this one wouldn't get confused either, and this other chat gave a similar value, that the centrifugal forces would be 0.2 of the force of gravity. It's interesting that with the same initial numbers, one chat gave one result and the other gave a different one, but with a difference of 17 times. How strange. The numbers and formulas are the same. Anyone would say math can't lie, but a difference of 17 times disproves that. I also have to consider I may have made a mistake by not choosing the right time periods. But, as they say, let's not get hung up on it. In any case, the centrifugal force will be negligible. In all cases, when the moon does these strange flips at different speeds, there's my initial assumption that these flips were supposed to prove the immateriality of the moon. Otherwise, with such rotation, it would have to break apart. Or the idea that it's actually much smaller turned out to be wrong, and both chats handled this task, but it became impossible to fully trust ChatGPT. They will also have to be double-checked. After these calculations, I realized that I could have figured everything out much more easily on my own. As they say, hindsight is 20/20. And the calculation is extremely simple. If the Earth rotates 360 degrees in 24 hours, then in 2 hours it will rotate 30 degrees. This is comparable to the speed of the moon during these moments of turning. It also rotates by 20-30 degrees in 2 hours. And yet the Earth doesn't break apart. and the moon is smaller than the Earth. The Earth and the centrifugal force on its surface during such movement would be 1.5 times weaker because its radius is smaller. The entire theorem has been proven in an elementary way without the need for complex calculations. But of course, here I am proceeding from the heliocentric structure of the solar system, that is, the structure of the world according to official science. But this does not change the fact that astronomers all over the planet do not notice these strange periodic flips of the moon and are in no hurry to explain them in any way. From a physical point of view, as they say, well, the moon is wobbling, but that can happen to anyone. The key point is this doesn't endanger Earth's population. And really, no one is even asking, so why cause a panic? Even without that, Earth has enough problems, a bomb or something else every 5 minutes.